Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Chronovolt. Does anyone remember this game at all? Anyone? Like, it took a fair amount of effort for me to remember that I actually had this one in the backlog to do while I was going through and downloading games to put onto the spare Vita in order to do this one. And it made me decide to go and look up what this game was originally meant for, because I don't even remember when it came out, who made it, or all that. This game was originally released in 2012 in order to give the Vita a new, unique game that took advantage of all of its inputs as an introduction to the PlayStation Plus service. It fails on all counts, folks. It absolutely does. So, let's go have a quick look around. Also, this menu is entirely unnecessary. Just the weird bouncing, it even does it in and out of the menus as well. Like, see how it all pops up there and then it just pops up in all these menus? It's just a waste of time. But yeah, you can see all the options here. Thankfully, you can turn the rear touchpad controls off. I did that immediately and I never looked back. And you can play this game with the motion sensor. Don't fucking bother. So you got your credits, you got your best times on each of the individual levels. Thankfully, the leaderboards still appear to be online. Do I know any of these people? I don't, but I can filter it to my friends. I have like 500 people on my friends list, and none of them... Oh, never mind. Fried Console made it further than... made it to level 4. Fair enough. You can also send out challenges via the messaging system to send your best times to people and get them to try and beat your time. But frankly, I'd rather throw my Vita off a bridge. So, we have 2 of the areas unlocked. The game's only got 3. And this is within 45 minutes. That's about as long as I could stand playing this piece of shit. We're gonna start about, say, level 6 here. Why not? We'll just start from here. There are 4 other chronospheres you can use that give you different abilities, like makes you more likely to fend off enemy rollers, but you need to buy them. So, fuck that. But yeah, general story is you're following around a time-traveling asshole, I suppose, who hasn't really done anything with the time-traveling technology yet. And catch him, more or less. That's the entire plot. The dialogue isn't very interesting, and the game itself isn't particularly grand either. So this is Chronovolt. You are controlling the rolling ball. The rolling ball is very slippery and surprisingly inaccurate to the physics of the world. Like, rolling over these cracks is absolutely nothing. Getting on moving objects is surprisingly annoying. And just the general overall feeling of the ball just feels like a slippery 3D platformer character. It's a surprisingly annoying thing to control, and I am not a very big fan of it in the slightest. You can see here that you get 3 stars on every level. Beat the level with all the pickups, and beat the level in the target time. You need to get a certain amount of stars in order to proceed to the next level, so don't think that you can just get by completing the entire level. You need to go and at least collect all the items along the way. That's what I recommend you do, because trying to be precise with these controls is an absolute nightmare, because you skid. That's the best way I have to describe it. You skid with this ball. You have unnatural momentum, and it doesn't make any sense. There are a couple of other things you can do as well. You do have camera controls, but oddly enough, most of them are on the triangle, square, circle, and X buttons. Don't ask me why that's a thing, but that's the thing. And you do have some quote-unquote time abilities that you can use. So you can tap an object on the screen that isn't an enemy to freeze it in time using some of your time energy. You get more time energy by picking up those blue canisters. Right, I need a key to get through that. You can also, if you get into a spot of bother, double tap, well, not double tap, but use 2 fingers on the screen to reverse time, so that you can try and find another way out of your situation. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm not going to be able to, so I have to restart the entire level. Sometimes they give you checkpoints. Most of the time, it's usually when that countdown timer starts. So... okay, you're just stuck there. Oh yeah, right, I need the key to get through here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? You have the ability to stop time on any individual object. And the last time power you have is actually something they tease in the opening cutscene. They say something along the lines of, you can even use time as a weapon. And I thought, oh, this will be interesting. I wonder what they'll do with the concept to make it more interesting. It's just using time as a laser beam to take out your enemies. Like those big grey rolling balls, just double tap them. They go away. That's basically it. Some of these things I can understand. Some of the things that they've done in this game I can understand. Like, tapping on stuff on the screen to make it freeze? Fine. You need a way to do that. Double tapping on enemies to destroy them. That's fine too, even though it's a bit of a gleeful misuse of the idea of a time weapon. Like, I still remember being really amazed by that RTS game Archon, where you could send units back in time and actively affect the future with it. You know, by comparison, this game and its time laser beam that just does nothing but destroy an enemy. Because you'll notice that they actually act like really dumb AI. They just roll straight towards you and roll straight off the edge. And that thing I'm sitting next to was just a time energy charger, so... you can use that to get maximum time energy and, you know, have infinite fucking rewind if you feel like it. Or just, you know, shoot as many of these dudes as possible and just get them out of the way. But the fact that you feel the need to use two fingers on the touchscreen to rewind time when you have two perfectly good L and R buttons on the shoulders that don't even get used in this game, that just feels ridiculous. The controls on that is just retarded. Not to mention it's actually kind of hard to get the two button press down properly. By the way, watch what the ball does when it's on its way back up. Boing, 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 boing. And you might be wondering, is there anything else to this wonderful little majestic game other than what they give you? And the answer to that question is no, there's not. At least up until the halfway point. Because the game just doesn't really add that much in the way of new stuff. I'm just gonna skip ahead to this level here because I can't really be bothered doing much else. It's the same concept, just in a snowy arena. And by the way, if you have too much on screen at once, it makes the game's frame rate tank. And it just makes the controls even worse. But yeah. The game is just no fun to play, in all honesty. It's the same thing, like, as soon as you get a few levels in, you'll understand what the entire purpose of the game is, which is just rolling around this entirely unfun ball and just collecting things and getting through mazes of keys that annoyingly don't tell you what doors they go to, and you basically have to guess what doors they go to. That's basically the entire game in a nutshell. And it is one of the most frustrating things imaginable, considering that we've got Super Monkey Ball, which, say what you want about Super Monkey Ball, it does this concept so much better that playing this game is just an eyesore after a while because of the low frame rate, the generally bad look. It really isn't that impressive of a game And it can actually start to hurt the eyes after a while if you play it for too long because of how laggy it can get at points. What's the best thing we can add to a game where our controls are already ridiculously skiddy? More skid! Why am I stuck? Oh, there's a fucking hole. By the way, actually reversing time there doesn't reverse time on that clock, so have fun. This is actually a really annoying thing going on here because the time they give you for this part of the level is ridiculously short. Like 22 seconds. If you're not going exactly where you need to go, as soon as that clock starts, you're fucked. You are really fucked because in this level in particular, it's just like you need to fucking leg it, son. And off I go again. So, an unenjoyable ball-rolling game with slippery controls, and annoying and not particularly standout physics, low frame rates, stupid enemy AI, unrealized time potential, and arguably one of the least impressive looking Vita games. Like, even its art style is really, really generic. And look, this shit doesn't actually reset. Excuse me. These platforms don't even reset. So, you have to just spam retry over and over again until you get the right cycle. It's really dumb. Yeah, just all of that together makes this an absolutely terrible game, and you can buy it for $5, but it's not even worth that. It's not even worth free. It's not worth any price whatsoever, really. And I'm kind of surprised that this game hasn't actually shown up on mobile yet, but at the same time, I'm really not, because this game got absolutely slaughtered in the reviews when it first came out, and there is a very good reason for that. It is a gigantic waste of time, and I feel bad for even having gone to the effort to play it. When I originally played this game, I got up to, was it level 3? Just let me go check. I think it was level 4. Also note that you can literally just go straight to the exit there for some reason. That's a very unchallenging level. I think it was level 4. So when I originally played this, I got to this level, and the controls, like, see how stuttery it is? See how the performance just absolutely dies? Also, these button controls are weird. See how the frame rate just goes to hell in this level? When I got to this level, this is where I gave up. I got to here, and I'm like, this game is not worth my time in any shape or form, and I got it for free. So, yeah. This is just a giant piece of shit, and you shouldn't even bother playing it. That's pretty much it. Not to mention, as I said before, really short. You could probably get through this game in a couple of hours if you tried. So, yeah, I don't care. Ignore it. Avoid it like the plague. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.